Another sleepless night, Highness? I'm starting to believe I'm never going to have the pleasure of startling you awake. I'd love to see the distress on your face upon being continuously woken. Preventing someone from sleeping is a very effective torture method. But you'd know all about that, wouldn't you? It was the Sorcerer King's favorite practice, after all. Silence yet again. You wound me, Highness. What are you working on today? Ah, an enchantment to cleanse the well of a village in the south. About time. Those people and their livestock have been relying on rain for far too long. My apologies. I will back away. I'm always fascinated by the dichotomy of how one so rotten can have such delicate handwriting. The kitchen prepared a real feast for you. Fresh white bread, salted fish, sweet cakes, fruits, even some dry sausages. A meal fit for a king. Meanwhile, the peasants and people outside these walls are scrambling to gather food for their children. Faced with the land you and your family have left poisoned and hostile. I've been down there. The brothers and sisters of light are sleepless, trying to fight the curses. The knights and soldiers alike do all they can to organize rations and fend off unnatural beasts. Fathers starve themselves to feed their families. Mothers give birth to stillborns for lack of proper nutrition. And dolphins fight with stray dogs over rat carcasses. Have you ever tasted rat, Highness? It's like swallowing plague itself. After your father slaughtered my family and burned down my home with witchfire, rats made up most of my diet growing up. To this day, I still gag at the mere sight of rodents. Yet, the child of Ashenberg's sorcerer sleeps in a castle on silk pillows and fed better than His Majesty himself. If the people had the strength, we'd likely have a riot on our hands, demanding you to be burned alive at stake. We knights are too loyal to our king, and are owed to go against his orders. Trust me when I say that his loyalty is all that stands between us and the soldiers. You've been forced to execute a few who tried assassinating you. None of us blame them for their actions. We'd much rather do that to you. Aren't you the fortunate one? You were even given the second largest room in the castle to store all your father's grimoires and books. I'm no faithful. There on the back of my neck stands every time I stand in this chamber. Their demonic knowledge makes my very bone tremble. You, however, must feel right at home. Still nothing. Not even a hint of smile at the thought of your beloved home. Thanks to your family, this land never had a need for tales of demons or monsters in the dark. The mere thought of your father or brothers passing through kept the adults up at night. But being hurt by the wicked Ashenberg twins was by far preferable than being captured and dragged back to the Sorcerer's King for interrogation. And worse, when he was done with them, be taken to the tower to his youngest child and apprentice, your tower, Highness. I heard it was a gift from your father for your 12th birthday. Did you know it was part of the raid? I was first to witness the leftovers of your experiments. Torture chambers filled with bones, eyeballs, and organs in jars. The nearby peasantry said they'd heard the screams of your victims for years, even kept records of each victim. I even found some names of friends and allies, and the sketches through notes of each one. Thank you for showing me exactly how my friends died and what was left of them. What a twisted purpose for that pretty handwriting. When His Majesty asked for someone to become your bodyguard, I did not hesitate. After all, I'd be the one to slit you the moment you showed a sign of suspicious behavior, and I would never miss a chance to remind you of your sins. I expected to help you royal, guiltless and spiteful, for you to make demands of luxuries and servitude in exchange for your knowledge of curses. I relished in the idea of tormenting you, humiliating you, watching you squirm at every act of penance you'd be made to perform. Instead, I was met with the husk of a person, tired face, and feeling marked with permanent dark circles and pale as a ghost, following every order without complaint like an animated puppet. Surely this was a trick to lay low until he could use the knowledge as a bargaining chip to slowly pick up where your father left off. Oh, I relished in the idea of tormenting, watching you squirm at every act of penance you'd be asked to perform for your enemies. But to add insult to injury, you ate nothing more than tasteless gruel and roots. You stayed awake for days on end, breaking down counterspells and crafting purification rituals until you collapsed from exhaustion, even going as far as taking upon yourself curses that would annihilate those too weak to survive them. You never once complained when they bring you to the edge of death, and the instant you recover, it's all over. You leave it black as if you are in mourning. What do you have to mourn for? I shared my frustration with His Majesty, asked him in no uncertain terms why he allowed you such comfort, and he told me a story. After he slew your father and took his crown, You were brought before him to answer for your crimes. You remained silent and scornful, as one expected. Then one of the castle's slaves rushed in, stopping the blade meant for your neck. Seems I have your attention now. The boy fell to his knees, begging his majesty to spare you, professing your innocence. He screamed at him to stop. Before he could say any more, the cursed mark around his neck activated. Blood spewed from every part. Every slave in your household has bestowed that curse of secrecy to prevent losing tongue from revealing the secrets of their wicked master. The knights who were present at that time said the same thing. You crawled to him, held him as his blood stained in pretty clothes. You cried over him, refusing to let go until you yourself passed out. According to his majesty, you only said one thing. Why? You could have gone home. I could not believe my ears. The cursed apprentice of the Ashenburg sorcerer, who shares his blood with sick designs, would cry for another. Absurd. Your brothers were known to take many pets for their sadistic amusements and desires. Was the boy a favorite one of yours, perhaps? Did he do tricks for you? Fetch sticks? Or maybe he warmed your bed at night? So, you are capable of anger. Good. Anger never lies. Stop. Oh, I will not stop, Highness. Not until you answer me. Why was a mere slave more worthy of your tears than your own blood? More than the hundreds of innocents you've tortured in your tower? Speak. Nothing. Even as my hand leaves bruises on your wrist, you won't fight back. You'd let me do anything, wouldn't you? Throw you down, break your bones, or anything. Why? Why does an Ashenburg witch feel guilt? Look at me. I was 10 when I lost everything. I had the goddess call upon me, promising vengeance for my pain, justice for my dead kin. And finally you're closer than ever to what I owed. Anger raw and all-consuming. And you're crying for another, no less. I know tears. I've seen so many throughout the years. Despair, horror, fear, anger, guilt, suffering. The latter I've seen the most, so why are you suffering? You do not flinch at the sight of curses. You do not react to the slightest insult. You accept any order. So, why does the mere mention of that boy sadden you? stop begging. It doesn't suit you. If he had not spoken, you'd have been executed then and there, alongside your wretched kin, and he'd have lived finally free of your father's tyranny, free to return to his parents. Yet, he gave it up all for you. Well, have you nothing else to say? If against all I believe and all my instincts, you are innocent, then why won't you speak up? After His Majesty's revelations, I went to consult the Order of Light. Everything we found in your tower was entrusted to the archives, so they could be studied and then destroyed. The keeper in charge was confused, to say the least. She could sense no darkness coming from your grim records. Every one of your collected bones and jars were indeed human, but taken from corpses. Your decorative bells were enchanted to produce horrendous, bone-chilling screams and cries when shaken. The faithful thought you might have enjoyed those as one enjoys music, but otherwise she could sense no infected aura or miasma, typically left behind by dark magic. This is the book the boy bought with him to defend you. Another of your many journals, detailing the experiments and sketches of your research at the tower. In my preparation for the war, I've learned the basics of dark magic and a few spells to counter it from the order. I was never any good at magic, but there is one spell I did manage to master. The one that makes illusions fade away. Axiom. Hidden behind illusions of wicked research. Hidden records. Records of your father's victims. Their names, birthplaces, sketches of their faces. Why they were bought to the sorcerer. Nothing your family cared much about. And under the crime section, notes about the procedures that underwent at the tower. I have witnessed countless times the monstrous mutations your father made of his victims, morphing their bodies into beast-like shapes he pleased. But according to these notes, he only changed their faces and altered their memories. You never really did hurt someone, did you? Why do you shake your head as if I do not hold the proof? I've seen your handwriting too many times not to recognize it. All these people your father gave you to torture, you instead gave them new faces and new memories and set them free. You set up your tower to give the illusion of horror and death, had enchanted bells to mimic screams of your so-called victims, so no one would be the wiser, and you'd have played the role of the wicked to the end, until the one person who knew the truth intervened. Now you've burned the proof of your innocence. I do not understand, Highness. It's as if you want to be punished for those crimes. You offered your neck to the hero upon your family's defeat. You could have thrown yourself out of a window or let yourself get poisoned. Yet, you persist. What was his name? Alroy. And he died because he spilled the secret of his master. Your secret. Is that why you endure? Guilt for a wasted life? One of many. Have others died in your service as he did? You want to atone for all those you could not save. You cannot mean your father's victims, not even His Majesty, the hero who freed us all, could save everyone. How could you have opposed your father? You requested your tower at the age of 12. You've been saving innocents from his clutches for over a decade, since you were but a child. The proof is in your many journals, behind a mere concealment spell. Highness, the sorcerer loved no one but his demonic art. Even his children were mere pawns. Either they served him as he pleased, like the wicked twins, or they were just another rat for his experiments. Aren't you yourself merely his apprentice, a useful assistant for his dark designs? He trusted you enough to let you close, and you could have tried to hurt him if you truly did. I don't believe that to be true. The sorcerer was a cunning devil, and much, much more powerful than you. Are you saying you were an exception? I know your mother died in childbirth. Yes, many of the sorcerer's unwilling concubines did. She was a sister of light, the only person to match your father in wit. You believe it played a role in how he treated you. He never heard who he was from you, but still acted as your father, played with you and held you when you cried, and dropped everything to help you, no matter how small the matter. You were only the one he loved. You told yourself he was too cunning and too powerful for you to try anything. But what? The truth is that despite everything, you could not bring yourself to do it, because you, the only one the sorcerer loved him back as any son loves his father. Therefore, you believe that all his sins are yours to pay. What are you? Highness, what are you doing? Stand up. You're begging. For what? I mustn't tell anyone and dispose of all your records. Why would you ask such a thing? An agreement with the king. You'll help rid the land of the curses your father's magic left behind. Yes, that is why His Majesty spared you. More to it, you say? Once the land has been healed and the people free to prosper, His Majesty must execute you. Must. Yes, I did say the people are frightened and suffering still, so much so that they might turn on each other out of fear or sheer survival instinct. What are you getting at? They must have a common enemy, someone to hate and blame, someone to take all their anger, so they may become stronger together. So a united land may be reborn in the wake of the Ashenbugs. So you'd die for this cause? No, stop. Stop talking. Just stop. Fate truly is cruel to rob me of my anger for over a year. I believed I was finally paying it back for taking everything from me. I taunted and tormented you, served you rotten food, let yourself be spat on, despite your lack of protest. I relished in knowing I was getting a silver of revenge for my pain. And now I learned that the last of the Ashenburg, my one chance at vengeance, is willing to die for sins uncommitted and to save this dying kingdom. Where does my anger go now, Mother of Light? Is this all to show me what I've become? A failure who torments the innocent as my enemy did. You could erase my memory, make me forget what I've learned, and you'd allow me to return to blissful ignorance and keep on tormenting you till the end. It would be better for both of us. No, enough. Spare me your kindness. I don't think I can handle any more. Take my hand, Highness, and please stand. How many know of this arrangement? His Majesty, as well as the 3 knights and the Sister of Light, were present that night. I see. I suppose that makes 6 of us now. Yes, Highness, I will keep your secrets. I will help you raise all proof of your goodness in the world, and let it despise you. I will guard you until you rid this land of its rots, no matter how long it takes. And for my own atonement, I will remain by your side, always. I will shield you from harm and be your sanctuary when your burden becomes too heavy. I will be a witness to the kind of sacrifices this world will never know about. And if it pleases you, I will be by your side until the end. Oh, I care not what others think. Let them believe whatever. My orders are to protect you and your work, after all. If you, the Ashenburg heir, can endure such penance, then I will endure mine. A friend. Yes, Highness, if you allow it, I will be a friend. Here, take this. Dry your tears and eat while it's still warm. And please, no more restricting yourself. You need all your strength. Hmm? Oh, it's nothing. I'm only noticing how lovely your eyes are. If only I'd cared to look into the soul. Oh, would you care for a cup of wine? After all this, I think we both deserve a drink. Very well, Your Highness. I'll be sure to ask the kitchens for the cheapest one. I will return shortly.